Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're listening to the podcast Capturing Magic. I'm Bill Rogers, the voice of Disney. Thanks very much for listening.
Hey everyone, welcome to Capturing Magic. I'm Steph Clay, and I am here today with, I don't know why I say here today because it's the same almost every single time. As always, Heather Winfield, who can be found at heatherw.com/character. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
And then Heather W25 on social media.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We also have Tanya Hickman, who can be found at everymagicmoment.com and Tanya H666 on social media. Hi, Tanya.
Hello.
Okay. Today we are talking about, or Heather's going to talk about how Heather's been documenting lately because she's been getting a lot of pages knocked out to have printed in her albums and books. And so we're going to hear a little bit about her process because it's new, right, Heather?
Yeah.
Or it's a change.
Now I'm nervous.
It's a change.
Well, it's an addition kind of to my normal scrapbook stuff through Photoshop and everything. But yeah, I've been using the Affinity App, which is kind of like Photoshop for the iPad. Mm-hmm. And Steph's the one who texts us all excited about it.
Yes, I did.
And I'm the one who's using it. But the interesting thing is, like, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on the podcast before, I don't really like paying for apps if I don't have to. Like if there's some other kind of, app that I don't need, I won't pay for it. But if it's something I need, like my Twitter app, I pay for and everything. So this app, though, it was $20. I think it's more expensive now, isn't it?
Yeah, it was $25, but I think the normal price of it is $10 more than that, or maybe it was $19.99 and it's $10 more than that.
I think it was 20 when I.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And so I was kind of iffy on getting it since there wasn't even like a trial. So I said, like, what if it doesn't work, or what if I don't like it? And it's only for the newest iPad and like iPad Pro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had just gotten a new iPad because I had like the original iPad for just like a really long time, and like it wouldn't even update anymore. And I mean, I pretty much only use it, to go on the web and stuff and my mail, so it didn't really bother me. But my mom finally convinced me, like, get a new one that actually works. So I did that. And so I'm glad I did. So I was able to get this app. And so I ended up, I think I found the iTunes gift card that I had from something. So I was like, oh, okay. So now I can get the $20 app. And I mean, I love it because, to go even with my laptop, and you have to have the laptop and go into, it's just so much more of a process of, okay, I'm going to go scrap now, than with an iPad. I just, while I'm sitting there, and it just seems so much easier for me to say, well, I can scrap using my iPad. So that's why I ended up saying, okay, I'm going to get this app, even though it's $20, which is $20 more than I would normally spend on an app.
Right.
But
I knew that was a lot for you when I recommended it. And I was a little surprised when you decided to go ahead and do it, but I was happy.
Yeah, I was the guinea pig out of all of us, because I think out of the three of us, I would be the least one that you thought was going to get it. And I think I'm the only, because I don't think, Tony, did you get? Yeah, you got it.
I didn't get it.
Okay. I got it, and it's a learning curve, like with anything. But what I love about it is that I can bring, because I use templates 99.9999% of the time when I scrap. So I can bring in any template I want from any, designer or anything, and I can use that. And then I also, like, when we've talked about project life and stuff, like, the big thing for me is being able to control my shadows on the page. And so with this, you can make shadows with it, but you also, since it's a layers, and it will keep the layers once you even, take it out of the app, then I can go and fix the layers, the shadows on Photoshop. So I love that, and that's the reason why I will continue to use it, even if I, have anything. It's really great to be able to have those two things, the controllable layers, I think. So when I mentioned this on the podcast we just did about with the Mousescrappers marathon, G-Scrap marathon, and so I did 11 layouts in 3 days, which is probably more than I've done like, 6 months before that. Yeah. And so I don't think I would have been able to do it if I did everything solely on the computer. So even, I did a couple layouts completely in the app. Like, you bring the template in there. I brought the pictures. I brought papers and elements and everything in there. The only thing I didn't do in the app is journaling, which you can do, like all this stuff, but I find it easier to do that on the computer, just so I can get it exactly the way I want, because I'm kind of picky with everything. Even though I shouldn't, to try to be able to finish these things quickly, I should just be like, okay, it's done. But I'm a perfectionist when it comes to these, so I like being able to do that. And then the shadowing, there is a way to shadow in it, and you can even save shadow styles. But the weird part of it is, like, if you have shadows in Photoshop, no matter what size the element is, it'll stay the same. So, I use the same I actually used Tanya when she was a designer. She made shadow styles, so that's still what I use. So, like, certain one for paper, and it doesn't matter if it's a small piece of paper or paper that's almost as big as a page, the shadow will look the same. But in this app, it depends on the size of the element, so it won't keep it the same. So it's really strange. And so I just not worry about it. I just do the shadowing when I bring it back into the computer and do it that way. But other than those two things, I can do everything in the app. I can recolor elements, which I've done, which I think is really cool, because that's a big part of digital scrapbooking for me. I'm trying to think how many layouts I've done just completely in the app, probably maybe around 5 or 6. And then I have ones, like I said, during this Speed Scrap Marathon, I had times where I would bring in a template and then I would just put the pictures in there, which shouldn't seem like it takes a long time, but for me it still can. So to be able to just do that when I'm busy sitting there like watching TV and just have like the iPad on, and just doing that kind of thing and having stuff set up to be able to work on later, that was a great thing. So I definitely think that's a big reason why I was able to get so many things done. And I've done a couple other even since then. And I think it's a really great thing. It is a learning curve, because like when you bring in something, it usually makes it like really like your picture, and then we'll bring it in like really big, or you bring in an element and you don't really see it. And so at first it's kind of confusing, like, where did it go? It's just like, but if there's like a Facebook group you told me about stuff, yes. And I don't know, it's called App Scrappers, Affinity, and Beyond, something like that.
Yeah, which I think is a great name. When they decided to name it that, I was like, that's perfect for a Disney fan. It's App Scrappers Project Life to Affinity.
Yeah.
And so Affinity is AFFINITY.
Yeah. So that there's a ton of tutorials there. When I first started, actually, they had a part of another group, but then they started overtaking it, so they made their own separate group. So there's lots of video tutorials, and that's how I started being able to find things out, and that really helps. So I recommend doing that, because like they have tutorials on the app itself, and so you can kind of see how to do certain things, but it's not specific for a digital scrapper type of thing. And it's so easy to look on YouTube for digital scrapping tutorials for like Photoshop or whatever other program, but this is right now it's still hard to find anything.
Yes.
So that's why I recommend that group for sure. And so that's how I was able to find it. Like you have to touch on the screen somewhere else, and then but you're able to then you can bring it in. So once you know that, it's not like, oh, it's just randomly there. Because I remember the first time I tried it, I'm like, I brought something in, but I don't know where it went.
Yeah, it is a brand new app, and so there's not a lot out there for it yet, but it's getting there. And definitely joining that group. There's tons of tutorials in there, and that will get you running. I I'm a huge believer that there is a method of memory keeping for every person that will fit their life and fit their style, and that they will find joy and happiness from doing. It's just figuring out what it is. And I think that part of figuring that out is figuring out what's preventing you from getting it done. And I've really been trying to get Heather to do some Project Life, but she didn't like Project Life because she loves her drop shadows and she loves to be able to add additional elements and things like that. But like you said, Heather, getting to your computer was difficult, and that was a bit of an obstacle. So I knew if I found Heather an app where she could have all of those things and be able to do it on her iPad, I knew that she would have success once again. And that's what I wanted for Heather. And so when I saw this Affinity, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be perfect for her. And I was so excited. I've been in there and I've used the app. But for me, that's not why I left digital scrapbooking. It wasn't because of the portability. For me, it was the amount of time that it was taking. And so for me, doing because it takes the same amount of time, really, because when you get in there, whether you're in Photoshop or Affinity and you start messing around with stuff, you could go on forever. And I love doing that, but I don't want my pages to take me an hour anymore. I want to be faster than that. And so that's why I moved to Project Life and to my phone, was so that I could do things much quicker than what they were before, which the Project Life affords me. So yay, I'm so happy that we found you something.
Yeah, I mean, I still have it going between the two, but to have something even just as like a starting thing to be able to do it. And I kind of feel like if I ever get to the Paris trip, like I would just take
if I ever get to it.
Well, I really want to finish this cruise album, and there's still, I mean, it's going to take me a while, but I've gotten, like, I want to say I had like 5 or so done up to, July, and now I have 18. So I'm kind of getting along, faster, but I'd like to finish that. I'd said that on another podcast, that and the Run Disney things that I keep going back to, like that's what I'm working on. So maybe if I get the cruise one done or close to it, then I can go do the Paris one. But I feel like I would take, like one set of templates that, like a project like type of a template. Like I use that a lot because I do love that, doing that, and that does always take me faster than the layering. So I kind of still do both. And using that app, it actually makes the, pocket scrapping, that's even easier than doing like a layered look type thing. So I still do like both of them, but if I had that, I would use like a pocket style one, like just 1 or 2 sets of it, and just kind of like do it that way. I feel like that would get done faster, and try not to, make everything perfect and have a lot of elements and stuff on there. But still with this cruise thing, I still have a whole bunch of stuff. I moved like the kits and such I want to use. So I have it in like one folder on my computer. And then when I use the app, I have, you can use Dropbox. So I don't have an unlimited Dropbox. So that would make it way easier. I could just stick all my, I mostly use Project Mouse, but I have a couple of other kits and such I use. But I put like a bunch in there, and then like there's a cruise, they have a cruise one, and then I have another cruise kit that I use. Those are my main ones. And then a couple other Project Mouse ones. And so then if I'm able to bring it in easy, but then if I needed something else, like go on the computer and move it over to Dropbox or whatever. And so then that's how I'm able to bring all the elements and such into the app. And then when you save it, you export it, and you can export it to Dropbox. So that's how I use it. You also can do it from, your iPad album thing, but then you have to have everything on there. But I do that a lot with the pictures. But it's also with the whole, when things are transparent, sometimes it doesn't really bring that over correctly. So I just keep doing it, bringing it in from Dropbox. And they have a couple of other like cloud type things you can use, but I use Dropbox. So that's what I stick with. But that's the easy way to bring it in and then take it out. And it's a actual program like on the computer before they got this app. So there might be some people who are actually already, familiar with it from using it because it's like a Photoshop
Yes.
thing. So
Yes, it's very much like Photoshop with its capabilities.
yeah, I mean, you could do, like I said, that once I figured out how to recolor things, and I figured that out by myself, it wasn't from a, tutorial. Like, ooh, it's even better. But you can do even you can edit your pictures in there. Since I still like doing things the way I know how to do it, I still edit the picture in a Photoshop app, or if it was already done on the computer and bring it in, but you can easily do it in this app also.
Yeah. Can you edit them after you've added them to the page?
Yeah, because it keeps everything in a layer. So you can still just do something on that layer and just edit the picture and everything like that. And it's also then the nice thing, since it keeps everything in the layer, when you export it, I export it to Dropbox, but wherever, then once I'm able to bring it into, Photoshop, and if I wanted to still edit anything more, I could, or I can move things around afterwards. So I know that's the exact opposite of what you want, because you want it and then it's done and then I'm done with it. But again, I try not to do that, but it still happens that I'll move things around. But it's still something like the pocket style type of thing did take me quicker on the app, because I think when that was the first one I did, was the layout I did. For
because you had a template.
I was like, okay, I'm doing this now, and timing it, and it was a pretty. I feel like it would be about the same time, but since that was still me learning,
yeah, I was gonna say you gotta
faster. Yeah, so I feel like that kind of layout I would still do faster than I would on the computer.
Yeah, whatever is helping you get it done, that's what matters, and it's okay that you would prefer doing this, and I would prefer doing the Project Life app. That's totally okay. As long as you're getting it done, which I'm really happy to see that you're getting it done again, because you're really good at it and you create beautiful pages. I love to look at your pages, and I'm really happy that you're getting your memories recorded.
Yeah, I feel like I have it. Who knows if I'll ever do it, but I feel like I want to be able to, when I'm on the plane and scrap, or if I'm not in the park and I'm away, I'll be able to scrap because I have it there in my hand, the iPad, instead of, big, heavy laptop. Yes. So maybe I can get stuff done even more like that. So hopefully.
Especially since you can't sleep on the plane.
Right.
Which I wish that was a thing for me. I'm like narcoleptic. Once they start the engine, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, even because most of the time I don't, because I'll take a early flight, the earliest flight. And so then I don't sleep before I'm flying out. And I still can't sleep on the plane. Even when I'm flying to California, which is a long flight, I still can't sleep.
I can't sleep sitting up. That's my problem. I can't sleep sitting up, at all.
I can't sleep comfortably sitting up, but
yeah.
I still have that narcolepsy issue when they start their engines. Where can people see your pages? What's the best places at Flickr?
Well, I have a gallery on my site. So my character page, I always put the layouts if I worked on a character layout. So that's always at the bottom of each character page. I the link for my gallery on my site is kind of a long thing. So it's because I have on my heatherw.com, I have a link to my gallery, but I used to have other kinds of pictures in there. So it's you have to go to the gallery and then go to other and then go to scrapbook and then go to digital scrapbook and then Disney. So it's kind of if I came up with a quick URL thing, it could probably make it easier, but I didn't expect when I had started that my site actually started in the 90s. So I didn't expect. It took me 10 years later when I started digital scrapbooking. So that wasn't in the plan. But yeah, I mean, I have some on Flickr. All my Disney ones are on Mousescrappers.
Okay.
So I'm Snowdrop on Mousescrappers.
Maybe you could
So,
send
like,
me a link.
Yeah, I'll send
Put
you
in
a
the
link to
show
that,
notes.
and I'll send you a link too for my the gallery on my site also. So
Yeah.
like if you went to, like I said, on my character site, if you clicked on a layout on any of those pages, once you did that, you can get to the gallery, because then on the top it says like Disney or whatever, and then you can click on that, and it's all there. And I have everything by trip, because that's why, like, on Mousescrappers or wherever else, everything's in there together. But on my gallery, I keep it separated by trip, so I have like all my cruise layouts together and that kind of thing. So it depends on how you want to look at it, I guess. And I keep them also on Pinterest, so I always pin my layouts. So I'm Heather W25 on Pinterest, so like whatever way,
Whichever method you like.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally just Google Heather W25.
It's the truth.
Like, you'll find them.
It's the truth. Yeah, I also, on Capturing Magic, there's a link to our Flickr group, which the name of the Flickr group is Document Disney. And so you can also click that link, and Heather puts all of her pages in there too.
Yeah, I put them there. I put them when I'm on Pinterest. I put them on our group on Pinterest.
You're so good.
I put them everywhere. Like sometimes I'll look at a group that's like for like not just me, but like all like so many in a row are mine, because I'm like, I always go, and it's just like a thing that when I upload layouts to places, it's like I do that, and then I copy it over to this place that I just like do it all at once.
Yeah, you've got a lot of pages in our group, and that's anyone can contribute to that group as well. If you are on Flickr and want to contribute your pages to our group, go ahead and do that. They're set. They have to be pre-authorized before I have to go in and authorize them. And I used to not be that great. See, here's one from Heather right here. Update approved. I used to not be as good, but I am getting better. And then those pages now feed onto a gallery on our homepage at Capturing Magic as well.
Is that the Peter Pan one?
Yes.
That one was completely done in the app, other than my journaling.
So cute. Is that a British Designs?
Yeah, that's
so
some of it is I think it was Never Grow Up. That was like before Pocket Scrapping.
Before Project
so that's
Mouse,
like,
yes.
Yeah, but then some of it is from Project Mouse. It's from Fantasy, I guess, or just random little pieces too. I do that a lot, which also is another reason why it takes me a long time to scrap if I start pulling things from random kits. Like, I know I have the perfect flower that goes here or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I know, I get it. I don't have as many supplies as I used to have because I lost one of my hard drives, and so I lost about 1 terabyte worth of supplies.
Oh, God. That is like horrifying.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just glad I didn't lose any photos.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I've talked about it here. I lost, so I had all of my everything backed up to 2 external hard drives and then my laptop as well. And I lost all 3 of those within a couple months of each other. And so I was being diligent about making sure that my photos were in multiple locations as the drives died, but I didn't do that with my supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I'm happy about the photos. Like the supplies, I can go buy those again.
Yeah.
A lot of them I got for free. I probably will never replace a lot of them, sadly, but as I need stuff, I go buy stuff. Keeps the digital community going, right? It keeps our...
Yeah, I used to be really good at, having that stuff organized, and then the longer you do it, the more you get.
Oh my
and
gosh.
And then I would forget. So that's why I think another reason why I love with Project Mouse, I just have everything. They're just, the different themes and stuff. It's like pretty much everything that I need until the next one comes out, and I need that too. But, that's why a lot of my stuff just keeps pulling from that, even though I have so many other kits. I don't have on my laptop.
Yeah, I need to purge. I need to purge soon. I actually just stumbled across a folder a couple days ago that probably has 1,000 zip files in it that I never opened.
What?
Like 1,000.
Really?
Yeah, that it just kept building up. I'll throw them in here and I'll sort them later.
Yep.
And I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah. We ought to mention where people can find these designs that we're talking about. So Project Mouse, if you're not familiar with it, it can be found at the Lily Pad the-lilypad.com, and then at britishdesigns.com. That's her URL?
Yeah.
URL. I can talk. Okay. She has lots of Disney themed stuff there too, outside of the Pocket.
She's pretty much the reason. Britt is pretty much the reason why I started.
Yeah.
Digiscrapping, because going back to like the way the project life is, that like when I talk about wanting the shadows, the reason why I didn't start it at first is because most of the layouts I saw didn't have shadows. And I'm like, I don't like that. I like it to look real, because I was a traditional scrapper for a long time. I still have so much regular scrapping stuff everywhere. It's awful. But once I found her stuff and her layouts, and then she used to have challenges at like one of the Disney sites, that's when I was like, oh, I can make my things look like that. And so that's how I started. So and then all her kits, and then I bought them all.
Yeah.
I'm like, I own everything she has. So yeah.
Yeah. And Project Mouse is Disney themed pocket style scrapping cards.
Yeah, and it's with her and Krista Solon Studios. Yeah. So yeah, I know I probably knew I would pronounce it wrong, but yeah. SAHLIN. And so they do that, and it's always so exciting when they have a we're like, yay, new kit.
Yes.
So I begged them for a year, 2 years, I don't know how long, to have a Run Disney one.
Yes.
And so they finally did, and like she asked me, because they don't run, so I gave them like, do you have any suggestions? And of course I gave them like 5 pages of suggestions type of thing. And so it's funny because I sent them a lot of pictures and stuff too, and they kind of based it off some of my pictures, so like the colors match perfectly.
Oh yay!
So yeah, it's really good. So I love their stuff, and it's easy again if you're doing pocket scrapping. Just it's one of the reasons why I probably do more of it, is because it's just so easy to be like, okay, I'll use the cards, and they have. I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll probably be out, but they have a new one coming out soon too. So
I know in just a couple of days, I'm really excited about that one too. Yeah, it's fun. It's so fun. And Disney is my very, very, very favorite thing in the world to document. I love documenting travel, but above that even is Disney. It's just the best. It's always,
that's why I think I'm so particular about having my pages like come out the way I want, because it's like, there's 3 times. It's like, you go on the trip, you take your pictures, and then you scrap it. So you're reliving it when you're scrapping it. Like, oh, I remember this, and that when you journal and everything. And then when you can go back and look at it, you're reliving it again. So that's why I love doing it, because it's like, it always makes me happy. I randomly look through old layouts, and
it's the truth. It's the truth. Go ahead,
sorry.
Tanya. No,
I was going to say, I've been because when we were in Paris, when we watched the shows, Heather would take all the photos and I would take all the videos. So I've been editing videos of those shows lately and taking all my snippets and putting them all together into longer videos and whatnot. And I have those songs like stuck in my head again, and they just make me happy. Just going back, even you like you said, taking the photos, scrapping the photos, and then looking at the photos, just taking the photos and then coming home and organizing those photos is like living it all over again. And those videos, and it's fun. I have all those videos, getting them all up on YouTube, and then I'll be watching YouTube, just random YouTube videos on the TV, and I will go through it. I'll be like, play Princess Starlit Waltz, like, so I could hear the music again. I love doing that.
Yes, and on Modern Photo Solutions, I was gonna mention that I have a podcast over there, an episode about 5 research-based reasons that it's good to document your memories. And one of them is that revisiting happy times helps us feel happier in that moment.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely, I think, what Disney does for me. And I think you guys are saying that as well, that when you create the pages, you're feeling happy. It makes you happy. And then you get them printed and keep them in a book, and you can look at those anytime. And it's awesome. And I have all of my newest photo books have the QR codes in there. And I went through all of my Disney books the other day, and scan the QR codes, and instantly it pulls up the fireworks show from Halloween, Hallowishes, and
I've been putting a lot of, if I have a video, I've been putting the QR codes in it because it's so much fun.
It is.
I love that.
It is. I want QR codes on all the pages.
Like I should take more video just so I can
I know
more QR codes, because when I was on the cruise, when you come on the ship and they announce your name, and it was so emotional. I'm thinking about it now and I feel like I'm so crying. But and it's like, so I had a couple pictures, but I took the video of that. And so like I did when I scrapped that one, I think that was like one of the first things I scrapped from the trip. And I made sure I put the QR code for that. I had like they had fireworks, I did stuff from that, and they have like these animated video pictures on the ship and a couple other things. So I have some videos, and like everything I have, I'm like, I want to scrap that just so I can do my QR code and stick that on there. It's just so much fun.
Yes, so they're the best. I love them because it just adds that whole extra, like you said, that whole extra dimension, I guess, of sights and sounds and everything that you can't have with just a photo. It's the best. Okay, thanks, Heather. Do you have anything else to share?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm really excited that you're getting it done again.
Yeah, it's fun, and especially, it's just something new, and it seems like they updated a lot, and hopefully it'll be even more things that come in handy as a scrapper, like, finding out how to bring a couple of pictures in at once, like then that like helps one of those, issues.
Yes.
Like, so yeah, hopefully as different things come out, it'll be even easier.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm confident that, and this is kind of what my philosophy has been. So Photoshop released, I guess we'll go into this for a minute. Photoshop released big heavy duty apps when they first came out with apps that were kind of just a little bit watered down versions of their desktop. But I think people had a lot of problems with them because of the memory on the phones. It wasn't really equipped to handle those. And people got frustrated with it because they didn't know how to use Photoshop, and so they couldn't use the apps. And so then Photoshop abandoned all of those, or Adobe abandoned all of those apps and came down with even more watered down versions that only have a couple of functions, which is kind of what mainstream people want. But I was excited to see this app, and I think we're going to be moving more in that direction where bigger companies are going to have full functioning apps of their software versions, app versions of their software. And I think it's exciting. The problem is, like Heather said, you have to have a newer iPad or the iPad Pro to use it, or it'll just crash, and I don't even know if you have the option to buy it on older iPads in the App Store just because of how it's meant to work. But I think we're going to see more and more of that. It is expensive for an app. However, it's a lot less expensive than Photoshop is.
Yeah. Because the longest time I had a really old version of Photoshop because I didn't want to get, the subscription thing, but I had to because it was just, it would crash anytime I brought in phone pictures, and it was just not, using things. So I finally had to, about a year or so ago, get Photoshop, and I got Lightroom, and I use it a lot, but I hate the whole subscription thing.
I'm not a fan of it either.
I'm not either, but yeah, they have to be profitable. And the only way, especially for apps, the only way to be profitable is to either charge a bunch up front, do a subscription, or in-app purchases. I don't know of many apps that are inexpensive or free and don't have any either in-app purchases or subscriptions within the app that continue on for long term. It's just, they got to have a way to pay for development. So,
yeah. And I use both their apps too. I use, on my phone, like the Lightroom and Photoshop, like, even though, like you said, it's like more watered down, but it's still, when I need to just edit, lighting wise, or when I have to edit out, hair strands that are flying all over the place, like I'm able to use those apps, which is really nice versus, like a couple of years ago, there was
Nothing.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just going to get more and more. I think we're just going to have more and more options. I have an app in mind that I would love to see created, and I think it would turn documenting, storytelling, memory keeping on its ear if someone were to create it. And I think we'll get there someday. That app will come out, which I'll be excited about, and I'll tell everyone, this is the app I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
So, okay, Tanya, remind everyone where they can find you.
You can find me at everymagicmoment.com and Tanya H666 on all social media.
Heather?
My character site is heatherw.com/character. I'm at 275 characters now.
Wow.
So, yeah, we'll see if I can get to 300. It's always that hard thing of once you get so many, it's harder to get a new one. But,
yes.
So then my social media, I'm heatherw25, and my Facebook characters page is I Love Characters.
Perfect. You can also find me at modernphotosolutions.com and Modern Photo Solutions on social media. And thank you so much for being here with us and letting us share part of your day with you. And if you have a moment, or if you would mind taking a moment to go leave us a review in iTunes, we would really appreciate that. Come connect with us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us how you are documenting your Disney vacation. We would love to hear about that. And yeah, that's all, I think. Yeah, come connect with us. We love to hear from our listeners. And if you have an idea that you would like to talk about on the show, let me know that too. You can send me an email. You can go to capturingmagic.me and click on contact and send me a message through there, or on the show notes or social media. And we will see you next time on Capturing Magic.